Yeah.
That is bad. That's cool.
So that's the first motor, and I saved for like 7 years, allowances and all of that.
Sweet.
Yeah, that's the first go-kart there. Yeah, boom, awesome, cool. All right, we're live. That's awesome. All right, sweet. Everything's went on without a hitch. Seems like sound levels are up. Yep.
Right.
But yeah, and that's the first race day ever at Badger Kart Club.
Yours?
Yeah. April
awesome.
Fools, and it
Yeah.
snowed.
What year was that?
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
My first day at Badger was 2004.
2004.
It was my practice day was on my birthday, so it was April 8th, 2004.
Wow. Oh, happy late birthday.
Oh, thank you. 30 this year.
30? Oh, my goodness.
I know.
The best part about being 30 is your knees start to go right away.
Someone told me that at work. They were like, did your check knees light come on? I'm like, what are you talking about? Then the next day you like go to kneel down for something, crack. You're like, oh, that's what that is.
Mm-hmm.
I'm 30 now.
Yeah. You can't like squat for too long, because if you squat for too long, then when you get up, you like do that little like, oh, and then it's like, oh yeah, I remember making fun of Dad when he did that.
Yeah. Every movement comes with a noise.
Yes. There's two noises the older you get. One for the action and one for the reward of doing the action. Oh, man. Awesome. All right. Well, welcome back to another episode of the Bench Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Derek Crane, and we have a trophy dash. It's just me and our special guest, Andrew Kiedrowski. Thank you so much for coming out.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Where do you live? I forgot where you live.
I live in Kansasville. Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, Kid, spelled weird, right? K-I-E-D. And then you got the Kansasville kid, Ryan Marshall from Kansasville.
Yeah,
wow, okay.
Ryan Marshall.
Yeah, so it's
Went to school with him.
really
High school.
high school. Wow,
Some of it, not much. He's a little older than me, but
that's crazy too. When you start to think about ages and stuff, and you start to see overlap, and you're like, because I would never have thought. Maybe because you're on the shorter side, he's on the taller side, you just assume.
yeah.
Oh man, but we have a awesome show planned for today. And then before I forget, the link is in the description, but we have our live audience show August 5th at Hold My Beer, and we are going to be sampling some of their beer today. Hopefully we won't crawl out of here. But if so, it's only Monday, so we're fine. Cool, so we'll get the show rolling. Please comment where you are watching from. Always love to see that. And if you have any questions for myself or Andrew, feel free to comment. So we'll get the show started. Ashley always loves the questions kind of like not participating or, in racing. So I'm going to start off with that because I always forget it. So, Andrew, what do you do outside of racing?
I enjoy hunting, primarily bow hunting, but we do a lot of camping too.
Nice.
At least we try to. It's slowed down a little bit the last couple of years,
Yeah.
but we try to.
And why was that?
Well, got 1.5-year-old at home. So
Nice.
we're gonna try this year. We're right down the road from Bong, so
Okay.
we'll just if it doesn't work out, you just go back home. We're like 5 minutes away.
Nice.
So we do with the dog too. See if she would like it.
So when you camp, do you like camp or do you like RV camp?
Real camping.
Like
with a
pop
tent.
tent.
A tent.
Okay.
You get there, you put the tent up. It's a little damp at night. You rough it. You're good.
Oh my goodness. See, that's the one thing I hate about tenting is like when you wake up, it's so humid.
Oh yeah.
And
yeah.
The blankets feels damp, and you're like, ah.
We did a trip to Niagara Falls like maybe 8-10 years ago, and we went like maybe 6 hours at a time and stayed at a place overnight.
Okay.
And when we finally got to New York, it was nice out, but like we're like, oh, it's getting a little windy. I don't know, we're not paying attention to the weather or anything.
Yeah.
And then like the ranger came up and they're like, be ready to take shelter. There's a tornado warning. And we're like, oh, great. And we're like, yeah, well, whatever happens. We picked the highest spot on the,
so no flooding. Okay.
And, you air up I think we had an air up mattress at that time. So, like, we just aired that up and we were floating in the morning.
Wow. And you're at the highest point.
There was like a river coming through the tent.
Wow. That's
so damp is one thing. You like leaned over and like the edges of the blankets are just soaked.
Yeah. So you have a baseline of like, well, at least it wasn't Niagara Falls.
Actually, because of the weather, we went to like a pizza joint down the road. It was the best pizza I ever had, and it was all because we couldn't have a fire because it was so wet.
Wow. So, what's the name of the pizza place? Or do you remember?
No idea.
No idea. Just a hole in the wall.
Just wherever the heck we were.
Okay, so that was out in New York. So is that the farthest you've camped?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely. Okay. Because anything other than around here, like last year we technically camped when we went to the Lightning Sprint Nationals, but we were in an RV. But it was technically camping in the campground.
Okay,
if you want to call it that.
Yeah. Because like I like tenting. Like before meeting Ashley, I had never went camping before, like that kind of camping before, and I enjoy it. But like I cannot imagine doing that on a doubleheader weekend of racing because you're like, no, I need like a shower and I need a place.
It's
with
not
AC.
the greatest sleep, You pretty much stay up as late as you can, hanging out at the campfire, because the sleeping part is probably the worst part.
Yeah. And the more tired you get, and the more beers you've had, the more you don't really care in the morning.
Yeah. Wake up in the morning, everything hurts.
Yeah, I could see that. So you hunt. You said you hunt. What kind of hunting do you do? Gun, crossbow?
Primarily, I bow hunt for deer. I'll go gun hunting. Usually I'll go like opening day, and that's it.
Opening day, okay.
If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Gotcha.
It's the tree stand therapy is the best part. There's nothing around. It's perfectly quiet. You can just relax. Like there's nothing that can bother you.
So when you go hunting, it's more for the overall experience. Because I've never gone hunting. So is it more just for like just the zen of just peace and quiet and just alone with your thoughts, and you're like, oh, a deer.
It's
okay.
You're just really just kind of hanging out.
Okay.
And if you get easily bored, it's not for you. But there's days where you're like, man, I saw 37 squirrels. They had this many. they did this, because you're paying attention. Some people just sit on their phone the whole time, but I feel like
what's the point of that?
I don't know how many times if I was on my phone, because it's crazy. Deer make zero noise. Like they're big animals, zero noise. I don't know how many times I've been like watching this way, and like literally right underneath my tree stand, a deer will just walk by, and I had no idea it was there.
Wow.
Like they're so quiet.
And majestic.
But then a squirrel will be right through, like right next to you. You're like, oh man, there's a big deer coming in, and it's just a squirrel. Like 9 times out of 10, it's just a squirrel.
Nice.
Like, thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Next time you make a little less noise, you're scaring everybody off.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you? What's your biggest kill?
I've shot like a fork. I don't.
Okay.
I haven't really shot any big ones.
Okay.
I've had a lot get away because they call it buck fever. You just get like
just
the shakes.
Like,
you just the adrenaline is pumping, and you're. I'd rather not take the shot than force
Scare
something
them,
or wound them. I don't want to do that ever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes you just get the adrenaline rush is enough.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man.
It's like when you're running second and you're like, I could throw the slider to take the win, but like, I'm just getting so nervous. I just rather just finish second tonight. Nice. So then, because like, I know like there's some people out there that's like hunting is like not a sport, blah blah blah. I really don't care if like you use the animal for like everything. So like, would you dress and like do all that stuff?
Yeah, you usually can like take the hide in for like gloves, like leather gloves. You exchange it, and then the rest of it you use it all. You know, like I do it for food. I don't do it for sport.
Nice.
So, I understand why people do it for sport. That's fine, but that's just not the way to do it.
Yeah.
I get super excited when there's a huge buck coming my way, but I mean,
gotta kill, not wound. Yeah. Shout out to Wise Guys Barbershop because like if you ever go in there, corner of Washington and 21, he's got race cars and deers that he's shot. So, yeah.
Oh,
and
yeah,
he makes jerky.
Yeah. It's really cool to walk into some of the bars and they're all the wall mounts and they're just incredible animals.
Yeah, they're. What's like your favorite spot? Unless, because I know hunters are kind of particular too about that.
Well, lately I've really only had time to hunt at my parents' farm, which is right off of Highway 20, off the freeway there. But we have a cabin up in Wapaka County, which is like Clintonville area, pretty much just dead center in the state. Okay. And there's so many deer out there. You can. You're dodging them at night. Once it gets dark out, you're literally brights on. It doesn't matter if it's a 10-mile-an-hour zone. Brights are on, and anything could happen. They're coming from everywhere. It's insane.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so now I know where to go if I want to go hunting. I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Or Paul from Wise Eyes Barbershop. Yeah. What's up, Sean Sticks? Thank you so much for tuning in. So another question we got here. How did you get into racing?
Well, sports weren't working out for me.
Okay.
When I was in first grade, I tried football, and I was about, I didn't weigh enough to be with my peers. So then my dad had to sign a waiver so I could be with my friends, and that was probably worse because they were so much bigger than me.
Twice the size, twice the weight.
And at that point, they just put you on like defense and they say, chase after the guy with the ball.
Yeah.
It wasn't fun. So I told my dad, well, we gotta do something. So I was dead set on going to Sportland, and we were gonna get dirt bike. We were gonna race motocross, and I know my dad didn't want me to do that. But we were like almost there, and he like did a little sneak past Franklin Cart, and he's like, "Hey, why don't we go in here?" And I walk in, and I'm like, they had that like thing like Tony Stewart with his
this was the old one too.
The old one, the one in Oak Creek.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can do this? And he's like, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and at that point he's like,
Yeah. Okay, you still flip and you're still not buckled, but okay, we're not on jumping. You're not trying to jump, trying to get air.
So we kept dirt bikes at home, just right around the farm. But 2004, we started racing at Badger, and we raced till 2009.
Okay.
But after I think 2008, 2009, we were running Midwest and national stuff, so we weren't really running club level stuff.
Yeah. When did you know you wanted to race?
Well, so we used to go to Hales Corners when I was really little, but I was born in '94. They closed in 2003, so I don't remember a whole lot about Hales Corners.
Yeah.
But then we started going to Wilmot, but it was just something that.
So something really young.
We just went to the Saturday night dirt tracks. And I was like, this would be. This is something I can do.
Yeah. I still have a hero card from Johnny Fall. From like the late '90s, early 2000s, and he signed us to Derek, and now I get to race him. So
that's cool.
Yeah. I mean, you get to race. Well, I mean, the Branhams, they were at Badger Kart Club.
So I was like just young enough where I'd never raced with Jessica, but like
I raced with Jessica. Yeah.
Like I was just because I think the only time I raced with you was when I ran one of Wirtz's karts in HBV maybe.
Yeah.
And it was like
because you were in sportsman and then junior.
I only ran seniors once, and it was when I borrowed one of Kodiak's karts. And it was like years after I already was done.
Yeah, was that? Karts. Oh man. Let's see if I can. Was that with the HPV4 pipe? Or
yeah.
It was the new pipe, right?
It was the newer pipe, yeah. And it was I won the heat race, and I was like, holy crap, this is kind of cool. And then in heat 2, the chain broke, so I had to start in the back. I was like, I'm good enough to hang with the guys, but there's no way I'm passing these guys.
Yeah.
They race every week.
Yeah.
I'm just washed up has-been.
Yeah, see, I really enjoyed the 3 pipe. I didn't really like the 4 pipe all that much, but I mean, it was just like the torque was a little bit different on them.
Yeah.
But
yeah, when we went from junior sportsman to juniors, it was like weird how you could like feel the difference just with the exhaust. Like, it's weird.
Yeah,
you know?
and then you had the flex.
They like check that to make sure it's the right length, and like people. I remember people would like run like the Yamaha with the 4 holes on top, or the 4 separate ones, or the holes in the back, and oh, you can't do that. Like,
or the slot. And I'm like, what? Come on.
Yeah.
That's the same. It's the same volume leaving.
Yeah, come on.
Oh man, you want to talk about people, saying you're cheating? Those are the days.
Oh yeah. I mean, everything really on those carts were pretty much the same. Yeah. So I mean, if you were like way faster, either you were like really, really good, or you were really good at bending the rules.
Yes. Yeah, we remember, I don't know, do you remember Gunter at all?
Yeah.
The German? Yeah. So he bought a cart. I'll leave the guy's name out just because I don't need to cause him trouble. We bought a cart from this guy, and we bought it. He bought it, and then the guy brought it to the track on a practice day, and he was running a little bit late, so he called me to jump in the HPV, and that was actually the first time where I drove a 2-cycle since junior camp.
Oh yeah, because you ran a lot of
4-cycle stuff. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was like we ran 4-cycle, and then we ran 2-cycle with the 4-cycle, and then we were just like, you know what, let's just run 4-cycle, and then we were having problems with the animal motors, and because once you're fast, people don't tell you that what you're doing wrong, right? So we're like, So then this whole thing, and this is why we jumped from 4-cycle to 2-cycle. So we go to the practice day, jump in the cart, and I'm like, wow, this is awesome. Like, this is like torque and speed all at the same time, HPV. And then, then Gunter got there, he jumped in the cart or whatever. Well, the next week or something, like, he got pinched in tech, and we're like, how, like, what? It's like, so they, so on the HPV 3 pipe, it's got like the little diagonal to make the curves. Well, they shortened the pieces where the welds were.
Oh.
So they shorten the pipe.
Little MacGyver.
Yeah. Because, like, then you look at it and you're like, oh, yeah, like the
like, it does look different.
Yeah, it does look different. Actually, when you look at it, you're like, wow, it doesn't line parallel to the rear bumper. It's kind of on an angle. But, again, that was our first HPV cart, so we didn't really know.
Well, you can't say that you did it on purpose. But you got caught.
Yeah, we got caught. It was the first race, and we're like, well, like, how? Like, okay, wow. And then we really had to learn. Yeah. So this whole, like, know what you have is, it's not the first time it's bit us.
But it's like at that time when you were racing the 4-cycle, they were popular. There was a lot of them.
Yeah.
But then when I started racing, there was like 4 in each class, and it was all 2-cycle stuff.
Yeah.
Like when I won the championship in 2007 in junior sportsman.
Yeah, Nathan.
There was like 30 carts every week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, like, that's a weird thing. I feel like you and my brother definitely are on the wave up, where like my age group is on the wave down. Because like when I would jump into like right before, like when I was in the lower class and juniors, seniors were huge. Juniors were light, right? Well, then I jumped to seniors. Seniors were kind of taken down, where sportsmen's were like huge. Like, do you remember Yamaha Junior Sportsman? There was like 40 carts, and there were like a lot of good ones.
Yeah, that's how many there were when I won the championship. Yeah. There was so many. Yeah. There were so many carts that if you like. They only inverted so many. And you remember when like Heat 1 was completely flipped? Yeah. There were so many carts, and the speed difference was so big in the back half that they stopped flipping those guys. They just left them back there because it was so unsafe.
What was that one kid? I think I remember that day too, like where there was like that big accident. It was like one of the very last days where they implemented.
That's what started it. Was that like there was guys like 4 seconds a lap slower that were starting out front because they were flipping the you know, and it was all like random for the heats, but they made sure that certain people were in this half and then the other probably by points. I don't remember, but I remember it was like, we got to start 23rd,
23rd,
and like first and 23rd, like that.
And
you were hoping for like 12 and 12,
one,
you know,
the one big one. Be like, whoo, dodge that one.
That's how I won my first race, though. Like I remember I was like starting like 10th or something, in the feature, and we go into turn 1 and everyone crashed, and I just was like, and I was like 3/4 of a lap ahead. Because, like, in junior sportsman, you started people back up.
Yeah.
So they, like, started everybody back up, but it's not like they had, like, cautions.
Yeah.
You know.
Just turn one yellow. So slow down, no passing.
Yeah, you just slow down right there. So I was like, see ya.
Man, I wonder what that date was, because, like, that was the day that Nathan started. Oh, man. He started. Courtney Atkinson started on the pole. Nathan started third. And I think. Remember Sam Eichhorst?
Uh-huh.
He started behind Nathan.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, what do you do in go-karts? You just load up. Like, there's a person in front, right? So they get the green, and Courtney locks it up, spins. Nathan's the only one that has, like, the vision to be like, oh, yeah, we're piling up here, so I'll check up. Well, Sam drove in the back of Nate. The kid behind Sam drove in the back of him, like, launched over Sam, landed, like, in Nathan's lap almost.
Next thing you know, you're in those big pillows.
And then everyone's in the big pillows, and we're just like, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, run over with the starter, like, go, 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 go.
Yep. You just start pushing, getting everybody going.
Are you, we'll ask that when you get to the scales.
Well, that's why, if you needed help, they had the, you know.
Yeah, the A symbol.
Yeah.
Oh, man, the A symbol.
Yeah. Otherwise, they just assumed you're good.
Yeah. Oh, man. Man, memory lane there. Okay, so you remember your first lap ever turning?
Yes, I do. So, you know, I mean, I guess first lap on the big track.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because you had that, like, grass-filled little circle thing in the corner of the property.
Yeah.
So, like, I did those for a while.
The practice track?
Yeah. And then my dad was like, well, you know, it's a non-points race next week, so if we're racing that, you can't be over here. So we go to the big track, and it was like, I think it was top of the hour. You got the rookies got to go out, or like new guys.
Yeah.
So I went out there. I go onto the track. I go through turn 1, 2, and then or however you counted it. Yeah. And then the turn right before the boot.
Yeah, that turn does not have a name.
I turned sideways, and I don't even know, because I was going so slow. But somehow I lost control, got sideways, and the rumble strips took out the motor mount, and the motor, like, fell off.
Wow. Okay,
so I made like half a lap.
Your first lap, my first lap was the same, because my seat was a little too low. It was mounted a little bit too low. So anytime I go through the hairpin, the right turn, it'd bottom out and I spin out. And spin out. My dad's like, oh man, like, you suck. And I'm like, no, it's not me. Like, I swear it's not me. Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that one turn before the boot. It was always the turn before the boot. You had turn 1, the sweeper, the hairpin, the boot, no man's land, the kink.
Yeah.
That turn did not have a name. Man. Yeah. And they still don't have a name for it. I don't know.
Well, they got all those other configurations. I'd really like to try them. Yeah. You know, like, somehow, because I know they do, like, you know,
the national
and all that, but it's like the one where they kind of go around, kind of where you used to pull off, like, that looks really fun, you know.
Yeah, I drove Andrew Crivello, there we go, his cart, like 2 years ago. Like, I think it was like the first year that they had it, or second year that they had it. Dude, that turn, that, like, where the old stands used to be, like, you brake so late and there's so much grip, like, it's like, whoa! It's like when you rip the cushion in the dirt car, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, did you ever run the track up in Shawano?
Yes.
When that was brand new, there was so much grip. It was so much fun. I have pictures where, like, you know, you went down and then you went back up, and then there was, like, that hard turn. Yeah. Like, towards the end of the
lap.
I was up on 2 wheels, just like, and the cart unloaded, and
wow, man,
and it was a cool picture.
I only went there once with Clayton Rush to do that, like, endurance race at the end of the year.
Okay. They're Scott Pappy. He was the promoter. Yes. And he kept telling us, "You guys got to come up here. We'll make it worth it. Just got to come up here." And they ran all the junior sportsmen together. The HPV, Yamaha,
they had the
Force,
junior
cycle, everything. It all just ran together. There's like 8 carts, but they were just trying to get it going. Yeah. And I remember we all went up there, and that track was so fun. Yeah. It didn't matter if it was just you out there. Like, it was just really fun.
Especially because, like, we ran with, like, the infield being the pit road. So, like, we had that long straight when we were on the endurance, and like you were ripping, and then you'd go through there, and then you had the carousel, and then you'd go up the hill, and then right when you got to the hill, there was a chicane there, and you're like, well, bury it now, and then you get the cart settled back from that chicane, and then there's a hairpin to the left. Oh, I had so much fun.
That was probably the best national event I ever drove. Was at that track.
Nice.
That was just such a fun track.
Nice. Where do you want racing to take you, or where would you be content?
I'm good with where I'm at, honestly. I'm very passionate about everything. I don't really race for points. I would say I race to win.
And the points just fall in your lap.
Yeah, that just if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't matter. You know, but I want to say it's a hobby because it is a hobby. But like some people take it so seriously. I'm at the point where like I'm there to win, so I'm not gonna go there if everything's not perfectly right.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like if like say the first race of the year something just doesn't seem right, I'm not gonna go. You know, like I'm not gonna go there, run 4th or 5th when I know I could have been better. Yeah.
But that's a really good point.
It's still like I ran 410s. I know what it's all about.
It's fun.
And it's the 410s were the most fun I had, but I wish we would have went into it with a better idea.
A little bit more slower, a little bit more
wisdom.
When
we started racing the Lightning Sprints the first time, we got a good car, and it had notes, and we just followed the notes. Yeah. We didn't do anything other than what the notes said. It was basically just, here's your super shocks. They're double adjustable. When it's heavy, do this. When it's average, do this. When it's dry, do this. We never changed the tire. We didn't move tires in or out. We didn't change air pressure. We changed the shocks, maybe moved the wing a little bit, and we were just fast right off the bat. Yeah. Then we were like, oh, well, same thing's going to happen when you go to the 410. No, wrong. No. Not even close. No. You know? I mean,
you made a really good point there, too, about when people like buying a used car, especially if you buy a good used car, as in, a good doesn't mean that it's like 4 years old or 3 years old. Like,
no, we saw it win the year before, and we were like, oh, the car's for sale. We want to get into it? We'll get that one.
Yeah, because a good used car to me is a car that comes with a bunch of notes. Like, good notes. Like, people can write down, like, anyone that's out there that's getting into it, like, definitely take notes. Even if you don't know what you're writing. Because, like, a little bit later, you'll be like, oh, I can start to see a trend here. Or when we start to do this, our car's really good. Because, like 2 cars back-to-back from Spike, one loved a 5-off and one hated a 5-off right rear. Yeah. It's just really weird. And
honestly, you don't get a lot of chances to just try stuff if you're racing for points. Yeah. You know, like...
You're too timid.
You're not going to be like, I'm going to move the right rear way out or, move it way in or something like try to maybe get a little more forward bite or something like... Because, you you go too far, you're done. So, like... You're like,
if you go too far, you're done or you're slow because you're like, I can't throw it in the way I want to.
So, to answer the question, I want to see where the 604 crate wing thing goes. Yeah. If I could get into that, or if I could at least, if somebody had a car, I could try see if I actually would like it. You know? But like, I think that would be an affordable thing. But I'd like to give it some time, see how it goes.
Nice.
Because I don't want to go back to the 410s because I think that my wife would probably be too stressed out. And I can't do the wingless thing. She would never let me.
Okay, so I'll skip ahead a little bit for my next one, but because you brought it up, you raced a wingless car. You owned a wingless car for it was like a season or a half a season.
That was the year I got married.
Okay.
So my wife says, I don't even remember you had one of those. And I'm like, yeah, me neither. I'd like to forget. Yes. Not because of the class itself, but I had no money to put into it. I literally went to the junkyard, got a truck V8, put it in there. And then, that's technically the open motor, So I don't remember what the RPM limit was for
Yeah,
that. Like,
yeah.
Like
70,
was it 6,800 or something?
Yeah.
That thing probably red lit at like $5,000, but I ran her 6,800.
Yeah.
And the one night it ran good, it just like shattered all the pistons. Like literally, like I went to push off and the motor was like seized up, and I was like, oh, that's weird, but I only paid $400 for this. So hey,
compression.
We'll and it like made it like. It made it through the heat race, but it wasn't running right. And I was like, oh, we'll check the plugs. Everything seemed fine. We'll run the B. And it made it like 2 laps and just seized up. But like it was like 4 weeks of just like, why is it not getting fuel? What is going on? Like I tried like 4 different carburetors. Like I ran it this way. I flipped it around, ran it with a whole different setup.
Yeah.
Like different bypass, all this stuff. Like. And it wouldn't run. Then finally, the day it ran, it made like 9 laps. I think I qualified like
I think you qualified
18th
decent.
out
Yeah,
of
you
like
qualified
40
decent.
cars.
Yeah.
But then the heat race, it was on like 6 cylinders, and then it blew up in the P.
Man, yeah.
It was fun. It was really fun. Like once it actually ran right, like the class is really fun. You actually drive it a lot like a modified, like which I don't know if.
I mean, it would make sense because Marshall came from modifieds and it was quick right off the bat.
Yeah.
Okay, so why K9? Which is his number.
Which I've been a lot of numbers, honestly, but I've only been K9 in a dirt car. In go-karts, we were 44 for the first year just because that's what number was on the cart. We didn't really care. Yeah. So we ran that, and then...
Did you buy it from Eggemeyer?
No, we bought it from... Well, the kid was Jacob Seeke. So his dad was Tom Wetland, maybe?
Okay, gotcha.
So we actually were buying a cart at Franklin Cart, and when we went there, somebody had just bought it. And then Tom was there, and he was like, I got a cart, you guys can just buy that one. And we're like, sure. Went to his house, bought his cart.
Yeah.
And we're like, we were already determined to race, so I'm not going to know the difference, you know? But, and then after that, with all the karting stuff, it was like, whatever number was left. Like, I wanted to be number 3, but everybody wants to be number 3, you know? So it was like...
And Emmons had number 1.
Yeah.
In every class.
03. And I was 0 for a little bit. And then it was 18, 51.
See, I remember you as 18.
Yeah.
At Badger, because I feel like that was like your most...
I was like 18 for all of juniors, I think. Yeah. While I was there.
And maybe that also because...
Actually, I think I was 18 in HBV and 51 in Yamaha. I don't know why. I think that's just how I did it. Wow. But I didn't race Yamaha club level. I only ran the HBV. Okay. We just did the Yamaha for like regional and national stuff. Okay. Just because, you know, if you're going to go all the way to Jacksonville, you might as well run 4 classes, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah. Do it right.
Yeah.
So have a better chance of making a main.
I guess K9 was like, so my family runs like a hobby farm and then like a dog boarding facility. Okay. So, which is my main sponsor. It was just Playmate Kennels and Stables. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So then, like, my dad was like, you know, dog, K9? I mean, because you see
half 18? You
see all the dirt cars, usually you have a letter. Yeah. Like, a lot of guys have a letter. Yeah. So he's like, you can be 9 and put a K in front of it. Kind of goes, you know, your last name starts with a K, but really it's because of, you know, K9.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. That's what I kind of figured, was like, I saw it K9, and I'm like, K9? And then immediately thought a dog, and then I'm like, his main sponsor.
But
that makes so much sense.
Yeah,
branding.
Yep.
Branding.
Yeah.
And plus, it's a half of 18, so you're like, oh, I mean, I can play it off of like, it works in all different levels.
I always wanted to be 3, you know, do it for Dale, but
do it for Dale. But, could you dump a guy? Nah, you can't do the 3 then.
I don't
be the 8.
I think I could rattle their cage, but I'm not gonna dump them.
Oh man, this is a question that I dropped my pen. Wow. Always do it at least once in an episode. A question that I used to ask back in like the first season was, how much money would it take you to really like come to the checker and like throw something that's like, I don't know if we're both coming out of the corner. Like what would that amount to win be?
Honestly, when I was running cars for my dad, it probably wouldn't have taken as much as now.
Because you're paying the bills.
My dad always says, you know, when you turned 18 and you started buying your own stuff, you started driving a little different. What's that all about?
Yeah. Hey, why is that? Yeah. Also,
but, I don't know.
Age.
Well, I've only really had the opportunity a couple times. One of the times was when back in like 2011, 2012, me and my buddy, we had a couple of the Dodge Neons. Okay. We ran the 4-cylinder class. My buddy ran it. He was running for points, but we had a second car because, you know, back then they were so cheap that you could just smash all the windows out of it, throw a cheap cage in it, go race it for $600, you know?
Yeah.
But he was running for points, and I was way faster than him, and I would get to the inside of him, and he would just cut me off every time. Oh. And the one time I got like there, and he cut down, and I was in his left rear, and I backed off, and I could have spun him out and won, and it would have looked so bad. Being teammates. He's racing for points, and it's just fair night, and I'm like, oh, I just want to win.
Yeah, it's fair night. I want to be the fairest of them all.
So, you know, I hit him after the checkered, and they're like, what's that all about? Yeah. And he's like, oh, you know, he's just messing around. And I was really mad for a little bit, because I was like, dude, it felt like every time I get a run on you, you just cut down. Like you'd run like the weirdest line, you know, like, what's that all about?
Yeah. Huh. A little suspicious.
Afterwards, we laughed about it, but
well, that's all that's important.
I don't know. I don't think I could. I have too much respect for all the guys I race with, and you know everything. I don't think I could dump somebody for mine. It'd have to be a lot of money. And we just don't race for that much money. It's more.
What's it to win?
I think I asked. It was $300, but I think with our new series sponsor, I think it's $400 now.
$400, nice.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's up.
It's better than nothing.
Yeah.
I remember when Brandon, my buddy, was racing 4-cylinders. If you didn't get top 3, you didn't get paid.
Yeah.
It was like $50 to win.
That was the
20
K19.
For second, 10 for third, and you didn't get paid after that.
That was the K19, right?
No, he was K9, but my the street stock guy, he was K19. That was my buddy.
Gotcha. Okay,
There's been a couple guys.
Yeah, that's why I'm like.
But Brandon was like he was Brandon's a good driver. He just prioritizes his life a little bit over racing.
Yeah, racing's life. Outside of God and wife, then racing. So. One more question I just thought of that I forgot to write down, but I really want to ask you. So you've raced a ton of racing cars, or like race cars.
Oh yeah.
Basically everything but a street stock, right?
Yes.
At Wilmot.
My brother had a Grand National. I ran that at Oshkosh one night. Okay. I did a couple practice laps on a practice day at Wilmot. Basically a street stock.
Yeah. Okay, so
it's a full-on tube chassis with a stock front stub on it, but basically a street stock.
Okay. Your favorite car that you've driven?
Well, the 410.
410. Okay.
I mean, how can you not like just like lose like? There's nothing like going out for qualifying, right? You go down the chute and you fire off, and you got one chance. So. Even at Wilmot, there's not much banking, but you're wide open down the banking. Your like stomach goes up to your throat. You can't breathe or think for 2 laps until you let off.
Yeah, you're
you're like you let off, and you pull off the track. You're like, holy cow, that was a rush.
Yeah,
like, holy cow.
In 20 minutes, we're gonna have to do it again with heat race. Yeah, 410's where it's at. I mean, yeah, I get like all the budget classes and trying to keep like a lot of the stuff, but like, there's no rush like stepping on 900 and something horsepower, especially with a wing. Like, I've yet to do that, but the non-wing 410 is chef's kiss. I love it. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna get into our topic here. Wow, we've been talking for quite a bit. Like I said, like I was a little nervous being a trophy dash because I was like, oh, there's not a third person to add. But man, 40 minutes already. Whew, nice. So our topic here, presented by Next Gen Pumps, veteran-owned, American-made, warranty like no other. If you need some pump or Hoosier tires, check out Tom Brown and Silver Lakes. Topic is IRA schedules, Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series and Lightning. because the Wisconsin Wingless schedule kind of did a soft launch where, Wilmot posted theirs. So I was like, oh, that'll be a great topic. Where now I've finally had some time to kind of move that into our topics. And plus, having a Lightning Sprint driver here who's also representing the IRA. First of all, what do you think of your schedule?
It's pretty much the same as it always is.
Mhm.
It's the last couple of years have been kind of disappointing because unfortunately we lost the World of Outlaw race at Beaver Dam, and
To what?
They run the micros there now, which from what I understand, the promoter of SLS has a micro or runs a micro series. So it's the guys from Minnesota.
Okay. Gotcha.
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
So we lost that race, which
I don't even know how to feel about that one.
You know what's nice about our class is we put on a good show. We don't ever have a B main, and they're not push cars. So like our show goes real quick.
I mean, yeah, it's like, okay.
So like if
you're
they
a promoter,
want something where it's like you're gonna have 2 heats and a feature, cool.
Yeah.
Like, and it just goes 1, 2, 3, and you're done.
Well, one thing about your classes that I noticed is that usually it's 2 or 3 heats and a feature, and you guys are done. But yet there's still 8 guys that can win.
I mean,
features.
we've had a couple embarrassing features the last couple of years, but for the most part, it's green to checkered. For the most part.
Yeah. And usually, unless you're Mark Heinrich trying to pass a lap car while battling Tim Branham for the win.
But
like other than that one, like
we also lost the World of Outlaw race at Wilmot this year, and we've always, as far as I can remember, we've always lost that one too.
Shush up.
Yeah.
I gotta look at that. I didn't know that.
So the only race that we're gonna go to where the stands are gonna be absolutely filled is gonna be Fair Night.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You're not.
It's 2 nights in a row. We didn't make a single night. That's disappointing.
That is. I'm shooketh.
Yeah.
I assumed when I saw that was going to be the World of Outlaws, Wisconsin Wingless, and Lightning.
And I understand the draw to the Wingless class. Yeah. They put on an awesome show, but you're always you got to make a cutoff. You know, like there's guys that can't race.
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't have that. I mean, we can. It's possible. But like last year, they said the top 24 or whatever can come. There was only one guy that we had to be like, are you going to go? Are you not? And then that guy said he's not going to go. So then the 25th guy got to go, and I don't think that anyone got to miss out, Yeah. And do they make that a points race for you guys? Is it like a gray area?
Yeah.
Like, see, that doesn't seem fair either.
I don't even know. Like, honestly, I don't even know. I should know. What's up, Tom Eller? You're missing a co-host. Ida, co-host. Yeah, man. I mean, we would have been here all night, which is not a problem. Talking about racing. I should have messaged. It is a points race. Tom, so it is a points race. Is it for the IRA? It's a points race for the IRA, but not Wilmot, correct? Because I feel like that is... I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Because, like, you gotta lock in the top 24.
Well, that's the other thing. You always got to be like... there's always a guy that's like, so are we going to do IRA points or Wilmot points? Because it's definitely different. You know?
It is different, especially this year, which we'll kind of get into the Wisconsin Wingless schedule right here since you brought it up. So the Wisconsin Wingless has 29 racing events. 2 of them are non-points, which is the Joliet World of Outlaw in October. And there's 9 tracks, so that's including non-points. So a bit of traveling. I'm okay with that. Like, I feel that 50-50 is good. Because that scratches the back of people that want to travel. Like, we're going up to Cedar Lake.
Yes.
But then you're not hurting the people that just want to stay local. Like, I publicly said it already, so I don't really care. But, like, if I'm traveling, I'm going to go south. Like, Indiana is sprint car capital of the world. If I'm driving a non-wing sprint car, like, that's where it should go.
Yeah.
Right? So, the going up north just doesn't fit me, but that doesn't mean that it's bad. It is still really good. Yes. They got a triple header. Where is it? There it is. Yes. May 30th at Eagle Valley, June 1st at Cedar Lake, and then June 2nd at Angel Park. Pretty good. You go your way up there. You actually drive all the way up there to race your first night, and then you're kind of heading back, per se. Like Jim Falls is a little east, I think, but then you're driving back home, and then almost a triple header, but not quite. Saturday night, June 29th at Beaver Dam, June 30th at Angel Park, which is a Sunday. Then you're off Monday, and then we run Tuesday night. So it's like almost there. So I mean, I think the schedule's pretty good.
So you don't mind traveling?
I don't mind traveling.
Are you committed to all of them?
No, we're just doing Wilmot and then going. Okay. We're gonna run Steel Block at Circle City, and then we're gonna hit most of the American Sprint Car Tour in Indiana, and then
I am committed to Wilmot and Sycamore as of right now.
As of right now,
which is over half, I believe. But
yeah,
I 141 is tough. Usually it's on Sundays. I don't know if it is this year. Yeah, it probably is. And then Plymouth is fine, but if I got to pick a couple of them that I'm not going to go to make my schedule a little more family friendly, I'm not going to skip Wilmot. And I've raced Sycamore like 5 times. I've never finished worse than second, I think. So I like going there.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. So since so the Lightning Sprint Series is 17 events with 4 tracks. Your 4 tracks are Wilmot, Sycamore, 141, and Plymouth. Yes. Which one are you most looking forward to? I mean, obviously probably Sycamore because of your record there. Like
I mean, I like Wilmot because I'm like just under 20 minutes away, so I can go there, really enjoy the races without feeling like, man, that drive home is not going to be cool.
Yeah.
I'm so tired, from working, But Wilmot, I mean, it's our home track. I've had a lot of success there. I like going there.
Okay. No, I just looked. We have Wisconsin Wingless has 7 flows. Well, actually, 5 flows, 2 dirt visions, and then you guys got 6 flows. So that's pretty good. And only 1 double header, it looks like. So that's.
It's usually 141.
Yep. On Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
That triple header is the weekend after Memorial Day, so double long weekends.
Unfortunately, I'm not a huge fan of 141. I don't know. It's not even about like the success I've had because like it's not like I've been slow there, but it just gets so slick, and our cars we're just all gonna be on the bottom.
It's the same thing with the
real
wheels.
hard to pass.
Yeah.
So if you don't get a good like invert,
I mean, like they say, the cream always rises to the top.
Yeah.
Like I was really surprised. Like Tim Cox has not won a feature there, and he's super good on the bottom. So that's kind of 141 is that way, but I think it's just because our horsepower.
Yeah.
If we had twice the horse, if we had the.
I feel like the Lightning Sprints are a lot like a go-kart with suspension. It's all about keeping it as straight as possible and keeping momentum up.
Yeah.
You lose momentum, you don't have the torque or the horsepower to make up for your mistake. Yeah,
exactly. And then the other thing, here, let me get to Tom Eller's comment real quickly. Tom Eller says, I'm pretty sure it's for both, but like Steve says, if you're not in top 24 by Outlaw Night, you're not winning a championship at that point. Anyways, very true.
Yeah.
But is the person running in 28th not showing up every weekend? They probably are, because like we always have B mains. So I mean, I get it, right? You got to cut it off somewhere. Tom Eller, also traveling is awesome. You get to see different tracks and make way more memories. Traveling is where it's at. Yes, Jackson, Motorplex.
Definitely true, because last year we went to the Lightning Sprint Nationals, North Dakota, and way northwestern Minnesota. Practically, you could just see North Dakota from those tracks too. And it was, my mom has a RV toy hauler, and the car is just small enough to fit in the garage in the back, so we didn't need a trailer or anything.
Wow.
Just snuck the car in there, kind of shoehorned all the extra parts I needed, a big jug of fuel, went on our way.
Yep.
It was a ton of fun. It 4 days away from my daughter sucked you know, like you
Yeah.
know, but the experience was incredible.
Yeah.
They had 40 plus cars every night, and it was double Bs. It was a lot like a wingless, like when they had the 40 cars every night.
Yeah.
You just, and honestly, any one of those cars could have won.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, that's really good, especially for a traveling track to have that much fun. Like Jacksonville, go-karting days. Jackson Motorplex, like that was a 4/10 mile in the crate. You're wide open. You're just on the interstate at that point. You're just trying not to die halfway through the corner. But like the one memory that I have from Jackson is Tom Miller, because it was a 2-day show, and I don't think we went to bed till 4 or 5 in the morning from Friday night into Saturday night. So that was traveling memories. Yes, for shizzle. Last thing I want to talk about real quickly about the schedules was I just remember on the Wisconsin Wingless side that a lot of us wanted to go to Cedar Lake and Eagle Valley or just go up that way to race, and we were always turned down. But now it's on the schedule, and I just find that it's a little too ironic that it's on the schedule now, right after they just had a series split. So they started a series called High Rollers, which is basically, from what I understand, is just USAC. So it's 410 motors, open motors or whatever, and a lot of their heavy hitters left. So I still think there's going to be a lot of Wisconsin Wingless guys. Definitely the top 10. Probably, I would be surprised if 28 Wisconsin Wingless guys went up there, because I mean it's a far drive, but at least they made it. They made it worth it, you know.
I mean, I feel like because the series kind of started at Wilmot, you're always gonna have more guys at Wilmot. And I mean, traditionally that's would you call that the home track for them too?
Yeah. Wisconsin Wingless. Yeah. Wilmot.
And the 604 thing is just Wilmot. From what I understand, the wing stuff.
Like 8 or 9 races or something. I talked to, I think Wade knows it.
It's similar to what the Lightning Sprints have at Wilmot. I think it's about the same amount of races.
Yeah.
It's like 8 or 9.
So that's about the schedules. Since we're talking about Wilmot too, what do you think about the memberships?
I don't think it affects me at all.
No, because if you're an IRA member.
Yeah. My brother was kind of complaining because they just were like, oh, we gotta go IMCA. Mm-hmm. So he's got to be an IMCA member. Now he's got to be a Wilmot member too. Mm-hmm. Their big argument was the insurance and stuff. Okay, well he gets insurance through IMCA membership, so it's hard for me to have an opinion because it doesn't affect me. But I've heard him talk about how it kind of seems like a double whammy. Mm-hmm. But
double dipping almost.
But for the street stocks, the 4-cylinders, what's wrong with a little more coverage? And hopefully that money's going towards, say, trophies or stuff for the track. Like, hopefully it's going to a good place.
Yeah.
So as long as they use it for a good thing, it's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, so from what I understand, that it is actually the insurances doesn't matter if you're a member or not.
Well, the track gives you insurance just by signing the waiver to go on the pits, I think. Yeah. You're covered at least something.
Yeah. Last time I checked, there's nothing small in an open wheel car usually. So that's good, but like, credible sources, it's going into the track. Some of the money's going into the track, but I just really hope that the other remaining money goes into that class. So it's not like you're pulling money from this class to pay these guys.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Because like if that's the case, we'll know real quickly. Because suddenly the Bandits are going to be racing for like $1,000 championship because they bring the most cars in usually.
Exactly. They have what track or what class brings in the most people?
Yeah, most crew. Yeah.
Say you go with 3 people, to the track.
That's probably a good average for us. Yeah.
I'd probably bring 2 to 3 people. they're bringing all their closest friends.
Yeah, like 5, 7 people. Yeah,
and it's a big deal for them.
Yeah,
like a lot of them, that's either it's just their thing, that's their hobby is running a 4-cylinder, or they're just getting into racing and they're so proud of it and they want to bring everybody they know and they're all proud of them.
Yeah.
So let's say they've got 6, 7, 8 people going with them. They always have like every single like car that's represented there. They have more people than the crews for the other classes, so they're bringing in more money to the track. So it should go back into their class.
Yeah, or even if they want to pay the same, just drop it down. Because I think now they pay for the top 10. Is it?
I'm not sure, but I don't know what they race for, but it's probably not enough.
I think it's 100.
It's I would say
I had a tiny horse
if it's not at least 100, I mean, come on.
Yeah, like really, like.
I remember times where my buddy was waiting for that $50 when they used to pay cash at the end of the night.
Oh yeah.
So he could put fuel in the truck to get home. So I mean, give him a little bit.
Those were the days, man. Do you remember going to the Pay
Shack? There used to be like the memes where like the guy sitting next to the wall, like and it would say like, "This is me getting my tow money so I could get home." After I junked my car.
Yeah. That's it. I made $20 for 8th once in a Bandit at Wilmot. Wow, Tom Eller there. I didn't know Tom ran a Bandit. I mean, Tom Eller does.
Doesn't surprise me, but I remember when he ran the Lightning Sprint for a little bit.
Yeah. Yep, another one. But yeah, man. Oh, Tom, I really wish I texted you because of Saturday. We hung out at a bar.
Speaking of Tom, I remember when I did Shop Talk with Ryan Cully in like 2012, and they were like across the street from Tom, I think.
Yeah.
Or right next to him, and he was building a street stock. I don't know if that ever made the track or not.
Yeah, Tom, did your street stock ever make the track? Because if that's the case, then he's just got a 410 and a modified that he hasn't driven. Jeez, a lot of people. Yeah, my goal is to drive everything. Better the podcast. So I'm well versed in all sorts of race cars.
I would say that the modified is probably the hardest to drive.
I would say that too, because in a sprint car, if you get up on the right front, you just curl your toes around the pedals and you just hang on. If you get your right, sprint car up on the right front.
But you're on the right front the whole time in a modified.
I know, that's what I'm like, ooh.
You're ready to roll that thing off the bead.
I would do it though.
I mean, what your like camber on that thing is just like.
Yeah, it looks broken.
You think it's broken.
Yeah.
Like is that he break a ball joint or something? What's going on? No, that's normal.
Yeah, and then you watch them in the center of the corner and they look normal.
It's straight up. So
nuts. See, that's some high tech Formula 1 technology right there in the modifieds.
Okay, so in the modified, when you go through the corner, there's times when I was first learning how to drive one, I just lost complete any thought of where the steering wheel is pointed. Like, because you're just, so you set the car, you turn just a little bit, and then you pretty much, you brake, and then you're back on the gas. And then the wheel's just a little bit this way, but say you mess up just a little bit. Like, you're this way, then you're going on the straightaway, and you're like, okay, where's straight? What's going on?
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's a good segue into our next guest in 2 weeks because they both used to drive modified, so I'll have to start asking them some modified questions. Tom Eller, I bought Randy Reed's mini sprint drunk after championship night before the street stock was done, finished it and sold it. Nice. I mean, that's a good thing to do, right? Buy something drunk. Oh, Tom, I should have said that you were drunk at Saturday night at Johnny's Poorhouse, and you sold me your 410 motor. I don't know.
Oh, you don't remember?
Yeah, I don't remember. I remember. It was a good night. It was a really good night. But yeah, wow, man, that hour flew by super quick.
Oh yeah,
super quick. So we'll kind of, like I said, we have the new format, so everyone's aware. So it's an hour show live, and then we'll cut the live, and then we'll turn on Spotify recording, and just anything goes there. Kind of like tech, or like after some dude just took you out where like you don't know what's coming. So I have no idea what we're going to be recording on the bonus portion of this episode. So, but yeah. So Andrew, who, and obviously there's no game because he can't play against himself.
Unfortunately, no.
I mean, I can try to guess some things that you might ask. But
I don't have an alter ego or anything.
No.
So.
You don't have like the go-kart Andrew versus the sprint car.
No,
Yeah.
unfortunately not.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. So, who would you like to thank?
I got a couple sponsors I'd like to thank. Playmate Kennels and Stables. They've supported me obviously since 2004. It's a family-run business. My family.
Yeah, nice.
You know, Fireplace. That's my buddy Brandon that raced with me back in the day. Right. He started his own business. He's doing. He puts fireplaces in. He can sweep your fireplaces, service and install. Nice. He does a really nice job. The only problem is he's closer to the Dalles, but you know you could convince him.
Yeah. You got fans everywhere, right? You got fans everywhere.
For Pet's Sake Veterinary Clinic, they're in Sturtevant, Wisconsin.
I like that name. That got me. That one got me.
It's
I like pun on words.
Right?
Yeah, I love those. Yeah, that one got me. Pet's Sake. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
Just my family for just letting me. There's arguments. There's frustration that I spend too much time on the car and all that, and it takes a very patient person to deal with a race car driver.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
So I do appreciate that. And one day, I'm not going to make her do it, but, my daughter might. You should have seen her at the high limit race at Texas Motor Speedway. Oh. She's over there. As the cars go by, she's pointing, she's looking, and it's awesome.
During the break between the two, I'll have to show you a video of my nephew Cooper. We put him in the car out here in the garage. He's jumping So awesome. And then real quickly, first race May 4th.
It's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's supposed to be at Wilmot Raceway, right?
At Wilmot.
All right, cool. I've got to get used to this because this whole side is for like us and the guests, like how we did the last weekend and the last 7 months. I haven't had to use that, so I'm like opening night. I remember that. Awesome. All right. Well, we'd like to thank Next Gen Pumps, Paulman Auto, RevTech, Manufacturing, Rouge Helmets, Ashley Bree Photography, Painters Plus, Bang Nelson, Jack's Helmet Design, Pinnacle Media Productions, Daybreak Church, Mirror Image Coating, Toro Tents, Bricks and Minifigs, and Hold My Beer for all that they do for us here at Crane Racing. And then also special thanks to my beautiful wife Ashley, mom and dad Mark and Gail, Big One fan Kyle, Ladders, Dave, Elliot, Jimmy IE, and my youngest brother, and Nathan and Lauren and Cooper, of course, too. But also Caleb, my youngest brother. And your secret word is turn this thing off. That was a good start. Well, I'll probably lead into the bonus with that. A little embarrassment there. And then in staging in 2 weeks, May 6th. There we go. I got a lot of May dates already in my head. So May 6th, Monday, May 6th, we have Tom Brown and Mike Sullivan. So that's going to be a fun show.
Oh, that's going to be a good one.
Dude, yes. And just wait, because I've been messaging them today, and Sully's like, there's going to be a lot of hurt feelings at this show.
The first time I met Sully, I went over to his house to look at a motor he had for sale, and I was there till like 3 a.m.
Dude.
Like, next thing you know, it's like Tuesday night. We got there at like 7. I'm looking at this motor. They're like, that was for like 10 minutes. Next thing you know, we're drinking beers, and it's 3 a.m. I was like, I gotta go to work in 45 minutes. I don't even know if I can get home in time to change. I might have to go right to work.
Dude, Sully, he went and bought one of my cars, and he was like, real quick, I'll swing by and pay you. That turned into like 4 hours. Dude, Sully's awesome. Yeah. Tom Brown's awesome as well. So definitely tune in 2 weeks, because our topic for the whole show is top 10 Wisconsin wingless sprint car drivers ever. And I got my list down. Tom Brown has his list down, and Sully has his drivers, but not in order yet. And let me tell you, like this is going to be a juicy one. So basically, we're just going to take all 3 lists. We're going to average them out, see where everyone stands, and it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a really good time, especially leading into the 10th season of the Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series. So I feel it's time that we should actually honor some drivers. So that's going to be a great show. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Derek Crane, Andrew Kiedrowski. See you at the track May 4th. Peace out, Girl Scout.